So I will pass transmission to the unnamed station. Well, no, the named station that I know the name of. So I'll make final. So 73 chat. Many thanks for the QSL. Let me listen once more. GW8SE. This is M0RJS. M0RJ Golf Whiskey 8 Sierra Echo returning. Oh, very good. Well, I'm also around a 5-7 with me. Oscar Whiskey Echo and the QTH small town of Chepstow border. Over. Yeah, I got you that time. Okay, well, hope all goes well for you and that you have a good day. Regrettably, I have to disappear off the radio and also have a good day. 73 chaps, M0RJS, listening very briefly, then QRT. 73's my friend, and have a really good day. Bye-bye.
Yep, okay, Owen. You're averaging about 5 and 6 to 7. Averaging 5 and 6 to 7. So I hope you... I too had a caravan. I've sold it now, but I did have one for a few years, and I used sort of similar aerials with sort of mixed results. I think it was, you said 19 foot the pole, but lots of radials. That's probably a good idea. I just had a single one. It worked okay, but obviously it's a compromise compared to sort of thing you can run from a home station. So enjoy your holiday. I'm sure you'll get lots of contact. And all the very best from here near Telford. 73 Owen, and thank you for calling in. Always very welcome. GW8SIE with M0RJS, G3UKV, briefly checking the frequency.
Okay, my friend, G3VKV, GW8SIE, thank you very much for letting me jump in onto your band. And yes, I'll carry on making radials and hopefully look forward to a good holiday. All the best, gentlemen, and no doubt I'll catch you at a later date on a later or another band. Over, over.
Bye-bye, Owen, 73.
Bye-bye, my friend.
Okay, noted that we do. It's interesting, isn't it? I don't know why it keeps going, but it's got to be in the audio stages, and that's why you were referring to some distortion last time we were on. Right, anyway, I'll pass it round. G3BYG, G4WYJ for the group.
G4WYJ and the group, and all okay, Jim, and good morning to Bob, G3IXZ, you're on the list. And yeah, all okay, Jim, and I was listening on 145, but instead of 300 it was 030. I'd mistuned it. It was on, but I wasn't on the right frequency. I looked at it quickly and it looked like 145 300, but it was 145 030. But I've corrected it now. Anyway, all okay, Jim, and I'll pass it round to Bob, G3, CPC, all yours, Bob. G3CPC and the group, G3BYG, right back. Yes, okay, Bob, all fine. At least you're good in the transmission, so Bob IXZ can tell if he usually is, yes, so you'll get a report from Bob anyway. Pass it to George. It's all yours, George, G0CMF.
G0 Charlie, Mike Fox returning. Yeah, okay, Willie, on all your comments there. And Jim, on yours, yeah, flowerpots seem to proliferate, don't they? I think they got some sort of reproductive system there somewhere. I get masses of them, and my grandchildren play with them, or great-grandchildren play with them, and I find them, they've discovered them all over the garden. So I have to now and again have those pick up and stick them in the dustbin. Right, okay. Yeah, well, your audio went right down again that time, as you obviously know, Jim. I'm wondering whether you've got some sort of, well, you've obviously got a fault in your audio section there. Maybe even in the mixer section there. If it's not the relay, because you haven't proved that really, have you? So, that's the niggling fault, that one, isn't it? Shame, really, but there you are. In my case, if that was me, I would have had the thing to pieces by now, because I like everything to be just so, really. That's the engineer in me. And okay on everything else. Going to the Specsavers, yeah. Well, I use Speckies in Truro, but hell of a long way to go for it. And talking about eyes, I've been banging the drum about my second cataract operation this week. So I've now had my 3 tests done, and I'm on the urgent list and just waiting for the letters to come through the door now, whenever they come. That could be any time in the next 2 or 3 months, I guess. You know, it depends on supply and demand, doesn't it? Anyway, I should be glad to get that done, because I'm in a nasty place at the moment where one eye's working, one is confusing the other, so not good. I got my new hard drive fitted yesterday, reloaded the Windows system. We got Windows 7 back for that now, and Windows 10 is hopeless. It's one of these self-deleting systems, I think. It's got self-repair facilities on it, but if certain things go wrong, it doesn't happen. Anyway, there we go. I've now got a 1 terabyte solid state. Well, it's not really solid state. It's got a solid state for the operating system, and it's got a conventional hard drive for the partition. What am I saying? Where you store your files. So that's very interesting. That 1 terabyte, 64 bits delivered. That was not too bad, I don't think. Anyway, I got now to recover all my files and various things. I couldn't get them off the old drive, because the old drive, the operating system partition on the drive was packed up altogether. So even trying to put it in the machine, or leave it in the machine and run it and copy over, no joy. So we're back to square one. I'm recovering information off of disks and SD cards and odds and ends, cobbling it all together now and reloading the programs I need. Anyway, that's enough of my problems. That's very good for me. It's going to be a nice day. That's you, Chris.
Yes, okay, George, all fine from you. You're still good 30 over 9 most of the time, a little bit of fading occasionally. And, yeah, okay, on Jim's rig, it's an FT102, and I think it's got half a dozen relays in, George, and they're all mounted in such an awkward spot that they're difficult to get at, as many of them are. So I've got not one. I've got I think it's 530. One of the relays is mounted under a printed circuit board, and you've got to unsolder all the wires on the printed circuit board to go to the relay. An absolute pain. So Jim's hoping for the best and sticking to just using it and hoping the contacts will clear themselves, I think. Although he's got a complete set of relays to put in, but doesn't fancy the job, George. There we are. Right, I'll pass it round to Bob, G3IXZ. I did have a chat with Richard, a long chat with Richard, Bob. He thoroughly enjoyed the visit down to Chepstow there, and he said he could hear his name being called over the public address several times, but it was so crowded he was having a job to get to the control tower. But he enjoyed the visit, thoroughly enjoyed it. Back to you, G3IXZ.
And hi from everybody. The signals aren't tremendous from Bob CPC and not so tremendous from George, but everyone's copy 100% Q5, there's no trouble there. You're 9 plus, Willie, and Jim was 9 plus. Bob CPC was about 5 and 7. George, you're about 5 and 8. Still on you, George. Quite noticeably on you, but nothing that puts it down below Q5, so no trouble there. I like that about Richard, I'd like to say, and so I enjoyed seeing him, and I don't know what's happening about the tool over the PO, and the tool really was on the site, so at least it worked anyway. We came with all kinds of work, and so it was good. And we had a cup of tea up under there. It was a very good, very nice day, actually, and he was roaring up to about 3, and opening up towards 7, and I imagine about half an hour. He's got a lot of records in his career otherwise, and so he was doing very well. Your problem, Jim, doesn't help at all. When you had a break for a few seconds, actually, on your last over, a minute or so before you passed it over back to Willie. And on that break, the signal dropped about 30 dB. You look at the right circuit, and the audio sounded okay. I could hear you. It's very weak. But I could hear your audio okay. There's no sort of distortion of the audio. It's just the signal has just gone down about 30 dB. I wonder if there's some funny fault of the bias source. Suddenly overbiting the PA and taking it out of service really, temporarily, and you're just getting frequency from the driver. I hear there's a transistor there, I can't make it well.
Brian immediately plus 10. John immediately plus 10. Alan quite a bit of 5 and 9 and crept up to 10. And then suddenly, a few seconds before you finish with a flashbang wallet, and you were up to 20, but I think you've gone back to about 10 over again, but wouldn't it be fantastic if whatever reflects the signal back down could be a bit more static? Anyway, there we are. Yes, probably you mean the rape case down on the beach. It's been in the echo the last 2 or 3 days, and they're still pleading for somebody who phoned in the first place to say that a woman seemed to be in distress. I think I'd soon be down there as well to rescue. Anyway, I don't know all the bits and pieces of it. What was the other thing? They're still, of course, on about the helicopter. The fact that it took 90 minutes, but other sources said at the time that it was somewhat less. But anyway, it's a shame that insurances couldn't be used. I wonder if the helicopter service could go to, if you've got insurance, to go and get some money back for being rescued. You know, so not like an NHS hospital, all that sort of thing. When if you take on a particularly dangerous sport, obviously if you're fishing, trawlers or otherwise, and need to take off, I would, all right, it's a dangerous sport if it's rough seas, but at least it would be working. Anyway, I won't take on any mantle on that one. Butterflies. Not many butterflies yet. I've seen a couple daily, and the big bumblebees. The buddleia is not very far out yet. There's only a few stalks of very pretty buddleia flower. A lot more to come on later on. So I guess there might be a few butterflies, but they have reduced so much, haven't they, in the last 15 or 20 years. Sorry to say. Yeah, we've got a school fete today, so Jan's already up at school helping. I'm going to break free as soon as I hand it over, so I better shut up quick, I think, to take sister-in-law shopping, and then I'll be going up to help Jan in one thing and the other. You know, it's our eldest son's and wife's a wedding anniversary today. Right, school fete. Yes, I watched the Snetterton bike racing last night, and it was great. 3 races there. I won't talk about the winner, but he's a class rider. PSU interference, yeah, that's a SOD, isn't it? But at least you've found where it is. And if it's an encapsulated PSU, it's not any point trying to break into it. Because if it's a plug-in type power supply. Anyway, whatever. Okay, had a couple of swims yesterday, and that was lovely. And went down to the motorcycle evening on the front last night, and oh, well, I've never... I might have seen as many, but it was jam-packed with interesting machines out at the end till down. Right, round it goes again. I'll say cheerio, Joe, but listen for 2 or 3 minutes. Some threes, back round to Brian. G0IBO and Company, G3Z, GP.
Could I have a quick break, Brian?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Richard, I saw somewhere in the news, I don't know what had happened, that the beach huts at Weymouth had been cordoned off. Was that your beach huts?
No, that's the ones where it might have been what Brian was on about, where a lady got raped over.
Yeah, I didn't know there were any more beach huts. That's all right, okay, Richard. I saw the thing here. I don't know what the incident was, and I couldn't remember. Thanks for the break, Brian. Okay, Richard, have a lovely day. Don't overdo it. And give my regards to Jan when you see her. Cheers. Thanks. Break. Over to you, Brian.
Okay, just a quick one, Brian. It's a type of beach chalet actually on the shingle, on the beach, that they call tents nowadays, but they're a wooden structure where you can pull down canvas sides, so it wasn't the fixed ones like ours. Cheers all.
Okay, cheers.
Yeah, sorry, I doubled. I'll let John say cheers. Cheers, John.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine. Cheers, Richard. Have a good day, mate. And we hopefully should be around Monday. We're not about this weekend, but we should be back on Monday.
Yeah, cheers. And PG Tips won't be on the day, but he'll be on the usual time on Monday and on 40 meters. Cheers all.
Yep, okay, Richard. Yeah, well, first of all, everybody's 5'9 plus 20. They're all 5'9 plus 20, because as you can probably tell, I'm on the 706 again this morning. Everybody's coming in nice, good signals, plus 20. All fully readable, no QSP at the moment. Yeah, all understood about your noise levels there, John. You've sorted that out. That's good news, and that you found it and didn't have to go very far either, doesn't sound like it. All understood, yeah, about the Fred Cook Company not having money for squirrels. Well, they got another problem out here. I didn't realize it. I knew there was red deer down in the forest, but I was speaking to my neighbor yesterday. He said you nearly had 12 red deer in your little plantation, Brian. Oh, God, I said, don't that. I said, why? He said they was right up against your boundary fence. Well, that happens to be a deer fence. But he's in need of some repair. Well, I said, blinging trouble is, Mark, I said, if he get in, I said, we're going to have a trouble to get him out. Because I said, well, when they realize they're confined, they start going a bit wild.
There's only two ways we can let them out. There's that one end where there's a farm gate, and down the other end there's a hunting gate. I did have a big stag in there years ago. He went out on his own, but he made a terrible mess. But there you are, yeah, well, that's the trouble, John. It's all pounds, shillings and pence these days. But of course, the latest is now, I see, that, they're now thinking that they're doing a trial, aren't they, over at Eastcote, is it, on wolves? They got this idea that it might be a good idea to release wolves. So that's the latest. Well, they released, well, the chap let it out the bag the other night about the beavers on the River Otter. They said, they didn't know how they got there. Well, no, they said they was released there. So, they don't seem to keep their stories right. Well, of course, there's a bit of a hue and a cry going on over there because somebody had their dog attacked by a beaver. And it had come to light since that there's been other dog attacks by beavers. And the Devon Wildlife Trust chap, he says, you should keep your dog under control, keep it on the lead. The usual sort of nonsense you hear from these people. So if you're a dog owner, you've got to keep your dog on a lead. But the beavers are allowed to roam anywhere. So, well, there's trouble going to appear. I always thought when they started about releasing beavers, there's going to be trouble. I had a long conversation 2 or 3 years ago with a chap from Bavaria. He said the English people must be crackers. He said they must be nuts, he said, to want to release beavers. He said because, as they gradually move up and down the river banks, he said if they get to somebody's garden, they'll ruin it overnight. So there you are. Well, we will wait and see. But I thought that might happen because beavers, they will attack dogs. I've heard of it before, But there you are. That's the way it goes. Well, thank you very much, John, for putting in your little bit about, yes, I really should go in up at the depot and have a chat with them up there. But if that's the case, if it's money problems, which I suspected it was, I don't think I'd get very far. Well, changing the subject from wildlife to other things, or to trains, I read a very disturbing thing in the Oakhampton Times last night, where vandals have been up to Meldon, that's just beyond Oakhampton where the railway track goes up and finishes. They've been up there and they smashed all the windows in the Polar Express carriages. Now, I don't know how many carriages it is, but I always thought it was about 3. Vandals have been up there, smashed all the windows in the carriages. Now, I just do not understand the mentality of these people. But there you are. I suppose they can't really leave them down in Oakhampton. Well, I suppose they could on one side of the track. But they usually park them up at Meldon. That's the end of the line. They've had trouble up there with vandals before. Vandals have also been in around some of the allotments in Oakhampton and done damage there, broken windows in sheds and all the rest of it. So at the moment, Oakhampton is suffering a spate of vandalism. But it's very, very sad, isn't it, to see and hear that happen. I think the London and American Railway Company, which puts on the Polar Express, I don't think they got a lot of cash. But I suspect to replace windows in carriages, it's a very expensive business. So there you are. But that's the way it goes, I'm afraid. We live in very funny times, I think so, at any rate. Apart from that, nothing much else. I am hoping to get out and just trim my front edge today. I think I'll wait till near about dinner time when it's a bit quieter. I'll be people stop and have a meal and that, and it's a little bit quieter, so I'm hoping to do that. Apart from that, nothing much else this end. It's all ticking over okay. I've got plenty to do, but I do it at my own leisure, So I'll put it around to you. I've got to put it around to John, am I? Sorry. Yeah, I'll put it around to you, John. I got Alan written down here, but Alan comes after John. So I'll put it across to you, John, G4BUT, G0IVO. Very strong signal from Newton Abbot this morning, John. As I said, you're plus 20, and the audio sounds pretty good, over.
Yeah, okay, Brian. Thanks very much for that. G4VUD returning. And all okay. Okay, the red deer. Yeah, that's a bit big to play with, isn't it? That's one thing you don't want in your woodland. Not in that respect. But yeah, I heard about the wolf being released, and I think that is wrong. People over here, well, we're not used to such things. We haven't really got the room. I mean, everywhere you look at the moment, there's houses being built right, left and centre. We're going to be one huge housing complex before too long, I think. Especially here in Newton, it's getting very, very built up. And, you know, to have something like that running loose, and the number of people walking their dogs and all the rest of it, you just imagine what it could be like with a pack of wolves running around. Going back in the early sort of Middle Ages, yeah, no doubt you could have got away with that because there weren't that many people about. But nowadays, there's just too many people. I can't see anything wrong with the beavers. I think the biggest problem is the dog owners, Brian. You know, I mean, surely the beaver's not going to go that far from water, is it? I mean, that's where it lives. Or it comes up the bank, cuts down a tree and pulls it into the river. But surely, I mean, the pictures that you've seen on the telly seem to be of people, if anything, provoking their dog to attack the beaver, or at least to confront the beaver. And as the bloke said, you know, it's got young with it, and like any mother, it's going to protect its young. I mean, you get the same thing with a herd of cows with young ones in a field and people walking across the field with their dog, you know, and the dog provokes the cows, and the cows trample the people walking the dogs, because the dog tends to just run off. But we can't run that fast. So I'm not really sure. I don't think wolves should be released. I mean, look what's happened when they've let the boar go. That seems to be an absolute mess. It's doing wonders for the Forest of Dean. But there's no end of problems up there, I think, with wild boar. But, I don't know. Where will it end? Mate was telling me this morning that France apparently has said they've got to get rid of all petrol and diesel cars by 2040. They've all got to be gone. No petrol or diesel cars will be allowed in the country. In France by 2040. They've got 23 years to sort themselves out and go for electric cars. I mean, that's going to be fun and games as well, isn't it? Oh, well. We'll go back in our little hole and hide away and watch the world gradually blow itself to bits and see how it goes, I think. Well, it's no good emigrating, because wherever you go, it's in exactly the same state. Or it will be eventually. It goes around and around in cycles, I think. What else was there? Okay, on the lad, Alan, that you came across. Perhaps he was with Royal Signals or something on the technical side. So moved across to Open Reach when he left the services. It's possible. Okay. Was it the fault was 2 kilometres away or something? That's like we used to get at Mam Head. Our biggest problem was always a dodgy cable in one of these roadside cabins that was just over 1 kilometre away down the hill from us. And the lad would always put his tester on and read off, oh, it's 1 kilometre away. And we sort of said, oh, it's the green box at the bottom of the hill. It always fills up with water, which was a well-known fact. Of course, you always got a different lineman each time, so you never had the same one, or very seldom. So the poor lad was always starting from scratch whenever he came, which is a bit unfortunate. Right, I've turned the gain down a little bit on the compression and the mic gain, so hopefully not blasting your eardrum too much, Alan. Right, car park. I better get on with the thing. Got to get ready. Got to put by. Got a ladyship to sort out. I've got to go and do some shopping as well this morning, so we'll get on with that. It's also club night, so we'll be, it's my turn to do the tea duty in the club tonight, so lucky me. So I've got to get some extra milk as well. The fun of Radio Club. So have a good weekend, Bob. Enjoy yourself, whatever you get up to. Don't get too toasted, will you? And with the fans running, it sounds like you've got a nice, cool place there, Alan. But I think they're saying it should be cooler from Sunday onwards. So we'll wait and see in that respect. More and more cloud at this end, but it's still fairly bright and it's still quite warm out there. Oh, I've lost point full. No, I haven't. Oh, look, she's moaning again, so I'll go and investigate her ladyship. So on to you there, Alan. All the very best to both of you, and hopefully catch you on Monday. G4PCB, clear G0IBO, G4VUD is clear, but listen for any comments.
Yeah, cheers, John. All the best. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, John, your audio's fine. It's probably the filtering on there is very, very good audio, and you've been peaking 20 over, so has Brian, so averaging about 5 to 10 over, 5 to 10 over. Yes, I don't believe in putting wolves out in the wild. Beavers are okay, and these idiots, without any common sense, it seems as though common sense has gone out the window now in the latest sort of generations. You should never put the dogs in any position where there's wild animals, really. It disturbs and distresses the wild animals, and there was some prat with a camera trying to take a picture with his dog with beavers. I think that's what he was doing, but there's just no common sense. Aluminium cables, yes, there was a spate of aluminium cables installed by BT, which could turn out to be fine if it was dry, but if you've got a crimped joint that wasn't sealed properly wet, of course, aluminium and water, beautiful jobby, and it just corrodes. So a lot of faults were caused by aluminium cables instead of copper. But that was somebody at the top saying, oh, look, we can buy aluminium cables, it's cheaper. It wasn't really, because you kept getting more and more faults. But there we are, the heads of the divisions and everything else. Butterflies, yeah, we've got lots of butterflies here. Mind you, we are out in the country, and I've seen loads recently, so they're doing a job. They're out on my, feasting on my, not geraniums, I can't remember the word there. It's gone, but it's the big bushy flowering shrub. Oh, what is it, Brian? Hydrangeas. Well, I'll just tell you the comments. Well, there isn't any common sense. There was we've got a round-robin email system whereby one person can email, I don't know how many 100 people in the village, probably 100 people, if there's any news or anything to watch out for, or anything going free that somebody wants to get rid of. And one came round the other day, rabbit found underneath a car at number so-and-so and so-and-so, Merrymeet. The next one come out, problem solved, rabbit is free-range rabbit that is allowed to wander. So I thought, yes. So anyway, I sent an email back. The persons who've got the free-range rabbit, I wonder, do they get it in at night and put it in a hutch? Because if it doesn't, there's a couple of free-range foxes I've seen recently, very, very close to the backs of these properties. And it isn't going to last 5 minutes. It wouldn't be a very nice passing for the rabbit. So, and that, I found out on the QT, belonged to two ladies with children. I don't need to paint a picture for that, do they? And they're both professionals. One's a teacher and one's a nurse. What on earth are they doing letting a rabbit run around free range? It'll end up as Mr. Reynard's best meal of the day, I should think. Right, on that note, I shall say 7-3. Thanks for chatting. And I'm going to go off, pick up a loaf and take the dog around the park, come back and think about the day till lunchtime. Shan't be out doing too much. I had a bit of a job out in the garden the other day, which I wanted to do. I got so hot back in the shower and just, was washed out. So I'm no good over 21 degrees out there. At the moment, it's 19 degrees outside, and we had more cloud. I think tomorrow is the day it's going to get cooler. John, tomorrow it looks as though it could be just 21. 7-3 all. Good morning to any listeners. G4PCB, Signing clear. It's free for a call, but I'll only want a quick signal report and then gone. Cheerio, guys. G4PCB.
Yep, okay, Alan. Are you still there, John? Over?
Yeah, still listening.
Yeah, all copied there, yeah. Alan, you went up over the 40. I haven't got the preamp on. You went up over 40, excuse me. Yeah, it's all understood. Yeah, well, we got beavers in the area here, John. They're in a compound, actually. But I can well remember what I don't like about the release of beavers is when there was 2 got out. Now I think there's 3 got out from the chap what imports them. He isn't very far away from here, as you can imagine if you know the area. And he had 3 get out. Now 2 went down to a place called Trussell Ford, and I happen to know the people down there. They couldn't have been down there much more than a week, and she said, you want to go down and have a look what they've done? Well, I did. I happened to be passing there, and I stopped and I walked in and had a look. Oh, they made a hang of a mess of the trees, because you know I'm a tree lover, always have been. They did make a shocking mess of the trees down there, and that really more or less put me against them. I think they ought to, my opinion is that, like they're doing down here at the moment, it isn't very far away. I won't say where it is, so they say it's a secret location, but I don't think it is anymore, because a lot of people seem to know it. They're in a compound down there, and, if you contact them Wildlife Trust, I think you can go down and see what they're doing, which of course is very interesting. But the wild boar, yes, well, that is a problem. There is no doubt about that. I seem to remember some years ago when I was going up to the dentist up in North Thornton, there was a nice bit of trimmed grass beside a bridge. Somebody obviously kept it trimmed very tight to their property, and it was all like as if a load of moles had been there. But what it was, wild boar had been there in the night, and of course they do the same as pigs, which haven't got rings on their noses. They just muzzle the ground, don't they? Of course, they made a hell of a mess of this patch of grass. But I know up in the forest of Dean, they got shocking problems up there with wild boar. Luckily, there's none in this area at the moment. But there's no doubt they'll spread out as time goes on, Well, changing the subject, I heard it on the radio that I don't know whether it was Mercedes or Volkswagen, one of the big firms, car manufacturers, are going to stop building petrol and diesel cars in 2 years' time. And you've got to go to electric if you want one of their cars. Now, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But that's what they were saying. But I was listening on the radio this morning. To park in Westminster in London, it costs you, I think it's £20 for 4 hours, worth £5 an hour, isn't it? Yeah. Luckily in this area, the car parking charges aren't nowhere near that price. So I think they're trying to get money out of people or keep the cars out of London. I don't know. But it is beginning to get a problem. Oakhampton is very, very what I call choked up with cars, etc., etc., So there you are, right, but I'm going QRT. I'm going to have a cup of tea, and I'm going to go out and do 1 or 2 things, and then I'll get ready to do this front edge more nearer dinner time. At the moment, it's trying to clear out. We've had very, very light rain here, but it's trying to clear out. And all understood, you've got club night tonight, and you're the tea boy. I've done a bit of that in the past. So I'll say cheers and Alan. Have a good, might be about tomorrow morning, see what's happening. If not, have a good weekend up there. And also, John, enjoy your trip, and we'll work you further down the log. G4PCB, and also G4VUT, this is G4IVO. Wish you a very good morning, and going QRT. Cheers.
Yep, cheers Brian. Okay. Cheers to you, mate. Have a good weekend, and we'll hopefully catch you on Monday, if all goes according to plan. All the very best. G4VUD off there.
Yeah, okay. Cheers, Alan, if you're still there. No, Alan's gone. Okay, cheers then. G4IVO QRT.
Standing by.
Cheers then.
morning, of course, it's perfect, but then Mary's had to put the drops in for me, and I've got about an hour, I suppose, before vision returns back to being pretty good. When I see him on Wednesday, I think that he'll say, well, the improvement is so quick and so good. I'll do it on such and such a date. But when I get up, it's brilliant, and then when I put the drops in, which I have to do 4 times a day, vision deteriorates a little bit, and perhaps the principle behind it is that they won't start the other eye until I'm able to stop the drops. But I must say, it's a marvellous team they've got at the hospital there, and although in lots of other departments of the hospital it's deteriorated terrible, you know, that this one is so good. Looking down on the charts here,
into hack screen, very, very difficult at the moment. It's becoming more clear now what you said about that gardening comment there, Frank. It initially seemed like someone was actually having a moan. That's the gist of what I thought I heard anyway. But yeah, what I tend to hear a lot more is about people's medication and their illnesses. But, you know, I think if one's got whatever need or necessity to discuss whatever they feel needs to be discussed, I don't see why others should have a problem with that. It's like when I used to get into very deep spiritual discussions, you know, about life after death and things like that. You know, it used to be, well, it still is, my favourite topic of discussion. But because very, very few people can relate to that kind of thing, because they you know, kind of see it as you must be loony to even assume that there's anything once the physical body dies. Instead of coming in and kind of joining the conversation and asking questions about all of this, they just used to blurt out rather rude comments, and I just gave up in the end. I couldn't be bothered, so I just discussed whatever's at hand these days with whoever I'm talking with. But yeah, by far, I'm sure we all have a preferred topic of discussion more than anything else. With regards to this wacky-backy, whatever you want to call it, I'm sure most of us have done that in our early days. I certainly did, and it was only because my girlfriend at the time had been smoking, I don't even know what it was. She'd been smoking for years, but she kind of introduced me to it, and I'll tell you what, Dave, I had nothing but absolutely amazing experiences. It kind of blew apart all my senses. Everything became so heightened, it was unreal. So I've always been of the belief that what that does to you is literally bring out more of what's really going on inside you. And because I was always inquisitive and spiritually minded, it just opened up my senses. Whereas if someone else who's like very angry and has got a lot of ill feelings and you know, can't forgive others, he's obviously got a lot of negativity within him, and it kind of drags that out. So that's why this wacky-backy, as it's sometimes called, can bring out a completely different reaction from different people. It just brings out what's truly going on inside you. But that's what became apparent to me anyway. But I had some amazing experiences smoking that stuff. And I don't see why it's such a naughty thing. I think it's more natural to smoke that which grows out of the ground rather than to pay for the cigarette where, you know, it's the government that gets most of the money for it anyway. 10SPZ G0VBI3.
Yeah, Roger, G0VBI with G0GSR, M0SPZ returning. Well, I think the problem with talking about let's say I don't know whether I've got a favourite subject. but probably I'm my favourite subject. But I think the problem with talking about your favourite subject is that not you, but you in general, i.e. me, you and everybody else, tend to be very enthusiastic about it and can talk at great length, whereas those that aren't particularly interested in the subject that you might be talking about are not conversant in it, and of course don't have anywhere near as much information about it as you do. So it becomes very, very difficult to have those sort of, how shall we say, healthy arguments over the airwaves, because once you've got the microphone, it's over to you, isn't it? And it's up to you how long you go on for, and or how short your over is. And so it's not a good medium for having an argument. It's certainly if it was a duplex medium where everybody could talk at the same time, then that's a much better medium for having healthy debates, as it were. But for normal use, it becomes very, very difficult because people tend, once they get onto their favourite subject, they tend to hog the microphone, and everybody else falls asleep, or is just dying to break in and argue. But of course they can't, because it's a simplex communication. So I think that's the problem. And of course I've fallen foul of that a couple of times in my radio career, and it can get very, very annoying when somebody's talking. My friend in Germany used to do it, of course. Once he got onto his favourite subject, he just wouldn't stop. And there's only a certain amount of information about the Rolling Stones that you can listen to. As regards to the wacky batty guess, now it never had anything as profound an effect on me as that. The only thing it really used to make me do was go a little bit giggly and then make me fall asleep. So it was nowhere near as exciting as the effect it had on you. But I know other people that have. I mean, I'm not a sort of addictive personality. I was addicted to cigarettes, but I've never been addicted to anything else. I mean, alcohol, I can take it or leave it, and illicit substances, I can take them or leave them, but a lot of people can't. And some people are addicted to alcohol, and I believe it's a genetic thing, isn't it? I think you are genetically disposed to becoming an alcoholic, so it's different strokes for different folks, I guess. Right, okay, well, good to chat to you again, Chris. I hope your mum's okay, by the way, other than ordering all the different shopping. And please give her my regards when you next see her and talk to her. And round to you, Frank, I think probably for a final. It's almost coffee time. So, and somebody's calling me. I'll let that ring and go onto the answer phone. Right, so round to you, Frank. G0GSR in the group, M0SPZ.
Yeah, I can hear the phone ringing, Dave. G0GSR. I didn't realise that there was a genetic reason why you may be addicted to substances or anything. That was quite new to me. But I feel a little bit left out here because I've never really tried anything I shouldn't, drugs-wise, substance-wise. I've been to the usual open-air pop concerts where the air becomes very thick with the smell of something. But never actually, just losing voice a little bit now, sorry. Never actually partaken in any great quantity of any illegal substance, so I feel a little bit left out. But Chris, that other receiver, the other one used to be the G4FPH receiver, but it's been off the air now for nearly a week for some reason. And I don't know whether he's got a hardware problem or what, but doesn't show much signs of coming back on the air. which is a shame because that's just a little bit closer to me, and I do get into that a little bit better than Hack Green. I always seem to struggle to get into Hack Green. It's just that critical distance away. And we've not had anything from Peter today, have we? I hope Peter's okay. Perhaps he's doing something a little bit more interesting than what we're doing. At least we're not talking about gardening. But I suppose it would be good to talk to somebody about something you've got a very keen mutual interest in, but you very rarely give the opportunity, do you? I could talk ad nauseum about broadcast transmitters and the like, but I don't think there's anybody on the radio who I really want to talk about that with, or any would want me to talk about it for that matter. It's just one of those very niche things that nobody else could be really interested in. Right, okay, well that's fair enough. Thanks for the contact. Enjoyable as ever. Enjoy the rest of the day. I don't know what the day is going to bring here. The weather isn't looking too good. We might actually have a little bit of rain, I think, so hopefully not. Cheers for now, and enjoy the rest of the day. G0VBI in the group, G0GSR. G0VBI returning for the final. Well, I don't know if you smoke, but if you do, maybe you can let us know tomorrow what your reactions were. I'm sure that would be interesting to do it at this time of our life. It was a very, very eye-opening experience, I have to say, when all your senses are completely heightened, you know. So it really was quite amazing, for me anyway. G4FPH, thanks for reminding me there, Frank, about that other site. I didn't realise it was down, but I don't know, hopefully it will come back up again. And Dave, if you're still there, yes, I totally agree and go along with what you said about discussing one's favourite topic. You know, it can be rather difficult. However, my best discussions of these matters was with our friend Bob, HB9ASQ, because although he doesn't discuss that kind of thing in the same way as I used to, he is very spiritually inclined. And the very, very first conversation we had, it was when our other friend, Walter, was on air listening, and because he found it all above his head, he started singing over us, and Bob got rather annoyed with him. So, yeah. But anyway, whatever the case, people should still be allowed to discuss whatever they feel they're interested in discussing, and not have the threat of having others come in and brand them as idiots or something. But I guess you get that wherever you go, don't you? Anyway, thanks for the chat, guys. Nice to speak to you both this morning. Wishing you everything better. Let's hopefully on next time. So until then, wishing you both a very good day, whatever you're up to, and until we meet again, 7-3. M0SBZ, G0GSR, this is G0VBI, Chris in London, signing with the pair of you, and wishing you all the very best. Cheerio, guys, bye-bye.
Yeah, cheerio, Chris, and a very good day, and cheerio to Frank, and let me just make sure I'm saying cheerio to everybody. Cheerio to John, Dave, Baz, and of course Taz. And Mark was listening to us, but I think he's gone now. So a very good morning to you all, and thanks for listening in. Cheerio to you, Frank. It's Saturday tomorrow, so we'll have to listen out for context. I don't think we're going to be have too much trouble, so we'll hopefully be talking again tomorrow. And today, enjoy your new toy. I think you're going to have several days of intensive playing around, Frank, and then slowly but surely it'll get put back in the box, and then you won't get it out for a week or two. All the very best, and thanks for a nice chat this morning to both. G0GSR, G0VBI, and 0SBZ, just listening and going to RP. Cheers, guys, bye-bye.
Yeah, okay, Dave. Well, it's going to live on the bench all the time. It's going to be on display, and in use quite a lot, I think, Dave. I'm going to have another play with it today, so quite looking forward to that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Had a look at my RF output from the radio as well, so I've done that already. Okay, cheers for now. Cheers to you and the rest of the web SDR. This is G0GFR.
Make sure you have a couple of joints. Make a couple of sniffs. Frank, I'm looking forward to hearing all about your experiences.
I wouldn't know where to get them from, Chris. Maybe I should go to the local primary school. I bet they know where to get them from.
No, nor do I, mate. Nor do I. I like that.
Yeah, cheers. No, I'm not going to do that. G0GFR.
Cheers, Frank. Cheers, Dave.
At least we can make each other laugh a little bit, can't we?
Oh, of course. That's what it's all about.
It's a small world, isn't it, Anthony?
Yeah, absolutely there. Oh, that's good. That you worked there. The lad from France there. The amazing number of people that lived in England that have gone abroad and that are amateurs, aren't they? We used to speak to one Brendan as well, and you know, I can't think of his call sign. I think that it was Malcolm was his Christian name there. Used to come across occasionally and go to Scotland and things there. And then went down another one used to be on the canal. He used to have a canal boat, and he was always abroad on the canal boat there, Alan. But without looking through the logbooks, I can't remember there, guys.
No, I'm afraid I can't, to be quite honest. Yeah, Malcolm, I mean, we worked on various bands to get to Malcolm, didn't we? Oh dear, a bit naughty at times, weren't we? There you are, mate. I think he used to email him, but of course, Margaret's email ain't none too well at the moment, and his daughter's had a bash at it, but so's Bob. But, well, there you go. That's how emailing is at times. Yeah, we've had some, I'm trying to think of his, right, I know how to get to it. I'm trying to think of somebody's call up Royston, and it's Melvin, G1 VTC, he used to,